Hey gang, what's going on? Welcome on back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. As always, I do hope you are doing well, my friend. I really do hope that. I'm rolling up my sleeves because it's Chelsea news. That's right, welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on the channel where I reflect on what's been said on Chelsea, giving you my thoughts on it. More importantly, asking for yours. Here's the rundown of what to expect in today's content. First of all, drama. Apparently, Pedro Neto has removed Chelsea from his Instagram bio, and of course, there's a picture of him in a Portuguese national team shirt, not Chelsea. Ooh la la. Speaking of drama, everyone's seen what Cole Palmer said. Well, many of you have seen Cole Palmer potentially aiming a subtle dig at Enzo Maresca, speaking about Liam Rosinia. Speaking of Liam Rosinia, the Chelsea manager, of course, he's on a winning run of 4 Premier League games now. Only Craig Shakespeare has beaten that as an English manager. And indeed, Enzo Maresca only had a run this good once in his 18 months in charge. He got to 5 wins. Of course, so Rosinia has the chance to do that and even better it with the fixtures upcoming. But apparently the Chelsea manager wants Valentine Barco, of course, the midfielder, wants of Brighton, wants a fullback as well, who, I must say, him and Diego Moreira look like and maybe Panicelli, and maybe Omega, and Penders, but Barco looks incredible for Strasbourg. We'll look a little bit at him and his stats. Chelsea still looking at Morgan Rogers, of course, scored again yesterday. The financial situation at Villa is not great. They might sell some players. Chelsea are long-standing admirers of Morgan Rogers, and if we have a bit of time, we'll speak about what the ESPN Argentina journalist said on Julian Alvarez. Do we believe that? Apologies if the diction isn't that clear. I'm wearing my Invisalign today. I usually wear them at night, but I've got them on today to help me also fast because I've been eating too much. Anyway, thank you for joining me. If you want to support the content, I'm grateful for that. Simply drop a like if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe if you choose to. If you want to, and if you choose to, you should hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. You guys want me to keep doing the bell singing, so there we go. And of course, please do consider searching Football Therapy Podcast on all your podcast apps to consume this content through that means. Of course, you can watch the video on Spotify. And if you're on Spotify, do give us a follow and 5-star rating. That's nice of you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Righty-ho then, fam. Let's crack open this drama. Here we go. At Just CFC on X says Pedro Neto has removed Chelsea from his bio. Someone checked with Grok down in the responses, of which he confirmed it's true. As you see here, it's a picture of him in a Portuguese national team shirt. And he's removed Chelsea just having Polaris Sports, which presumably is his agency. I mean, people have been his teammates have been tagging him in posts from the win against Wolves yesterday. Of course, I reacted to that. Do check it out if you want the match review. And he's reposted them on his story. Interesting to see the latest Chelsea. He's not deleted all his Chelsea related posts. I'm looking at it now. He's still got the 3 pinned. 2 of them are him holding the trophies from last season. And his last upload was on the 1st of January, thanking Enzo Maresca. Sort of a goodbye post on the 1st of January. So there's loads of Chelsea posts there. I don't know if there were posts since that he's decided to delete. I'm unsure. But yeah, I don't know if this is drama out of nothing, but when people actively remove Chelsea from their bio, it could be like his agent's doing it. Maybe he's leaving Chelsea in the summer and Kender's coming in and we're going to sign one more winger. I don't know. I quite like Pedro Neto. I don't think he deserves all the hate that he's getting. In fact, some of you consider me being hating on him, which I don't think is fair at all because I've been praising him. I praised the signing hugely. I was so excited. And I think he's been in generally pretty consistent form for maybe 12-ish months. So I like Neto. I don't want him to go anywhere. But, make your own decisions about him removing Chelsea from his bio. Right, many of you would have seen this, but here's Romano citing it. Cole Palmer asked about BBC Match of the Day what life is like under Liam Rosinia. He says this, life under Liam, he doesn't say Rosinia, he just says life under Liam is amazing. He gives us all confidence. He lets us be ourselves and play free. I'm sure when I'm back to proper fit, you'll see the best of me. Now, now, everybody in the social media comments where this was aggregated all going, why has he got to do Maresca like that? Why is he doing Maresca? Why is he cussing Maresca? I mean, I don't know. You don't know what Cole's thinking when he says something like that. Is he making a dig at Maresca? He didn't look too happy towards the end. I'm always really mindful to highlight Palmer did have some great times under Maresca, especially in the 2 cup finals. He played really well. He didn't do a goodbye. I just cited the fact how clear upset Pedro Neto did do a goodbye message to Maresca. Palmer didn't. He did obviously said to the likes of Pochettino, thanks for making my dreams come true and all that. But there was some speculation. You can make your own mind up that Palmer maybe wasn't the biggest fan of Enzo Maresca. Of course, he did play under him at Man City's under-23s as well, so he's got a lot of history with him. But he's gone out of his way to praise Liam and say how life under him is amazing, and he gives us confidence. He lets us be ourselves and play free. He lets us be ourselves and play free. It's amazing, and he gives us confidence. That is pretty, that is waxing lyrical about the new Chelsea manager. For all this, he's not happy. He says people talk a lot of rubbish and all that. So Cole's very much put the unhappy thing to bed. He's, like I've been saying in recent pieces of content, he's frustrated that he's been out of form and fitness. Ultimately, he wants to be that guy again. We saw a flash of it yesterday because he scored another hat-trick, which is great. Of course, we all want to see Cole Palmer at his best. I do, as a Chelsea fan. I'd love for him to, force his way into Tuchel's, not just squad, but starting 11. I think that would be excellent. We'll see what happens with Cole, but it's important that Liam keeps him happy. It's nice to hear that Liam's keeping him happy. It's important he continues to do so in however he's doing it. That's very, very positive. You can make your own minds up about what those comments mean. And if it is a dig at Maresca, I think it's whether he's actively and intentionally being like, the new manager's really good. He lets us do things that we want, that whatever. You can make your own mind up. Let's move on. Right. I have been, speaking about this kid for a while now on certainly my socials, on my Instagram and stuff, at CFCPYS Place. Liam Rosinia has apparently asked for Valentine Barco. Bayern Munich, unsurprisingly. Like they wanted Andre. Of course, Barco isn't our player. We need to say that. Bayern Munich follows the player with interest. Price citing the Argentine journalist sources here. Of course, he's an Argentinian player. He's amazing, this kid. Like, he looks the best. The best thing I've been saying this for like months now. The best thing you can say about Barco is he looks like a PSG midfielder. Like PSG should sign him because he's obviously ripping it up in Liga. They've obviously got Zaire Emery, but really it's those three. It's Vitinha, Neves, and Ruiz. But Barco would fit straight in to that PSG midfield. He is that good. Now I'm going to show you the summary of his last 12 months on SofaScore here, Barco. Look at that. All green, average, so consistent. This is his recent form. Three assists in the game against Monaco. He got 3 assists. 8.4 rating, 7.6 rating, 7.4 rating, 8.7 rating. A bit of a dip in the game away Nice, but it doesn't matter because he's back to a 8.1 rating, and then green. Like his performances are incredible. He's it says here player positions. Obviously he was a fullback on the left, but he can play defensive midfield and central midfield. Strengths. These are his player strengths. Playmaking, massive tick. Tackling, massive tick. Ground duels, massive tick. Literally everything you want from a midfielder. Weaknesses, no outstanding weaknesses. He's really good. Look, I really like Romeo Lavia. I think he's an incredibly interesting player. He's profiled really, really well. And he's really, really good. Of course, Barco's come from Brighton. He's another Brighton player. He went on loan to Strasbourg from Brighton, then we bought him for 10 million. Brighton bought him for 10 million as well. So for once, they didn't make any friggin' money on him. I thought if they buy a player, Brighton, for 10 million, they're supposed to sell them for 100 million. Just maybe that was part of like some sort of other complex deal we had going on with Brighton. But yeah, he is an absolute smooth operator, this kid Barco. The way he knocks the ball around, how combative he is. Of course, he's Argentinian. Buonanotte just left, so we had one in the midfield there. But of course, we've got Enzo Fernandez, Alejandro Garnacho. So there's a few players there. Obviously, loads of Spanish speakers at Chelsea. I've got to say the line, or at least express the sentiment. I do feel really bad for Strasbourg fans. I hope they enjoy success with the investment from Blueco, and it's not just, falling in love with a player and Chelsea ripping them away. I'd love for them to win the Conference League. I'd love for them to, continue playing well in cups and in the league and qualifying for Europe, and they can enjoy some good footballers and, that in some like positive dreamland. It just benefits everyone involved, Chelsea and Strasbourg. I hope that for them, but I am a Chelsea fan, and, I watch an amazing player at Strasbourg that Bayern Munich are looking at, might want to buy, and if he's going to leave Strasbourg because he's playing really well, and I would like him to come to Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? And maybe there's a sort of part of, I was going to say maybe part of Strasbourg fans that feel this way, but definitely not. They might think, well, I'd rather he goes to Chelsea, so Chelsea keep giving us good players because they keep benefiting out of us. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, it probably is just so grinding to constantly lose your players to one club, which is like the mothership in a multi-club model. Omega's coming. Penders is only on loan there. I've spoken about Diego Moreira in recent videos. We sold him to them for 1.2 million, and he looks amazing out there at the moment. But if truly we are looking for another central midfielder, we pulled back Mamadou Sarr as well, because Liam Rosinia really likes Mamadou Sarr. Of course, he's worked with him for 18 odd months, however long it was. He was on the bench, of course, against Wolves, so he was in the matchday squad, getting involved. It'd be very interesting to see Mamadou play for Chelsea under Liam Rosinia in the first team in this current iteration of Chelsea, to see how he operates. But yeah, I mean, wasn't it Liam Rosinia that put him into the midfield from fullback, which we've seen him sort of do with Hato actually at Chelsea, Liam Rosinia. So that'll be so interesting to see if he does that. Valentine Barco. It would be very exciting. I don't actually think there'll be many Chelsea fans that will be upset about this Strasbourg acquisition, because we've got so many high-profile, big-money midfielders that, bringing in some of these younger guys every now and again with high ceiling. I mean, look, the Strasbourg bought him off Brighton for 10 million euros. What's that? Sort of £7.5 million, £8 million. There's no way Chelsea would have to, like... Bayern Munich are monitoring him. Chelsea would have to give them what? Just so it just doesn't look ridiculous. 25 million. So, 10. Gone for 10. Sell them for 25. They made 15 million. When in reality, if he was playing for Chelsea, we'd put like a 60 million euro price tag on him. So to buy him for 25 million from Strasbourg. But they might be able to get away with that for fair market value evaluation. Say, look, yeah, of course he's good, but they only got him for 10. We're offering 25. Bring him to the bridge. Maybe. I do really like him. All right. So, a couple more players then. Look, Fabrizio Romano has spoken about Morgan Rogers. I'm reading this off Cy Phillips' news site. Chelsea are believed to be looking at another attacker in the summer, on top of the arrivals of Giovanni Kenda and, of course, Emmanuel Omega, who, by the way, it looks like he's going to be injured for most of the rest of the season. The Chelsea striker, or the Chelsea striker in the summer. There's likely to be movement once again in that area of the pitch in regards to departures to create space for new arrivals. Maybe the Pedro Neto, who I opened with. Who Chelsea opt to go for remains to be seen, but Romano has provided an update on Chelsea's interest in Rodgers. He said the following, quote, Chelsea are still very attentive to Morgan Rogers' situation and are big fans of the player. This is what Romano said on his YouTube. One to watch? One to watch? When he says one to watch, that's usually means something. Again, in the summer, in case of a huge proposal, there could be a possibility for Rogers to try a new chapter. Of course, he's in great form, 10 goals and 7 assists this season for the England attacking midfielder. Seemingly, Thomas Tuchel's first choice, number 10, over the likes of Eberechi Eze, over the likes of Phil Foden, over the likes of Cole Palmer, over the likes of Jude Bellingham. So Tuchel already loves him. We know Morgan Rogers, of course, originated the ice cold celebration that he sort of let Cole have. They are really good friends. They speak every day, of course. They are good mates, so you can imagine Palmer would like that. I do think, actually, that I know Morgan Rogers is a number 10, but he can play on the left as well. So, you know, an attacking trio of Rogers on the left, Palmer down the middle, and a Stebau on the right for the future is not a bad, front three to have. With, who knows, Omega up top or João Pedro, probably. João Pedro. And there's a world where Liam Delap gets sold in the summer. I know lots of people would like that. I think it would be a bit of a shame. But, Chelsea will make their money back on Delap and a book profit for sure. Should he go? Okay, so let's land this plane. Look, this is coming from Argentina, ESPN. It's also being cited by Fichajes, the Spanish publication that, I avoid. But the fact how this is just some journalists on ESPN, saying, Chelsea are working on Julian Alvarez, as well as Barcelona and Arsenal. Arsenal doesn't surprise me at all. He must have been... I mean, was he? I'm trying to think. Was Arteta still at Man City when they signed Alvarez? Or had he already left to Arsenal? That's tough. I can't remember. I think maybe Arteta had already left. He must have. But, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. He's that kind of forward that I could see Arteta really liking. And of course, I think Gabriel Jesus is out of contract in the summer, so maybe they're just looking in to bring someone like that. One Football writes the following: Chelsea are making progress on a potential deal for Atletico Madrid striker Julian Alvarez, according to reports in Argentina. So this might be a pinch of salt. I mean, we've heard this has been percolating a little bit in the media. I've tried to avoid it, but it's rotating, so here I am reacting. The Blues were linked with Alvarez before he swapped City for Atletico Madrid. He scored 40 goals in 88 appearances. Pretty darn good. Best part of one every other game for a little diminutive striker. Bearing in mind he's playing for Simeone as well. You think maybe, that would be better than 1 and 2 under a more attacking coach. The 26-year-old has also 13 assists. Yeah, he does love an assist as well, Alvarez. And of course, an Argentina international, Enzo Fernandez, good mates of him, Garnacho, who knows, Valentine Barco, could be all the, the Argentinian players at Chelsea. The Blues have Emmanuel Omega, of course, arriving from Strasbourg in the summer, whilst they signed Delap and Pedro last summer. However, despite Giovanni Kenda also arriving in the summer, the Blues are reportedly in the market for another attacker. Yeah, but Alvarez and Rogers are different, aren't they? It was very sort of broad, this briefing about an attacker. Apparently, Alvarez is attracting interest from Chelsea. There have been links with Alvarez, but there doesn't appear to be much substance at the moment. Although a journalist for ESPN, so this is the guy I'm talking about, has claimed the Blues are advancing on a possible deal. He says Chelsea are quietly advancing for Julian Alvarez, he told ESPN Argentina. Interesting. They tell me there are conversations. Oh, there's a lot of conversations where Chelsea are involved. Moreover, they told me that part of the agency of the agents who will handle the transfer for Julian were in London this week watching the Chelsea-Arsenal match. Oh, that's a shame. That's deal off. Deal off. I actually think we played quite well, so I'm joking. Alvarez has struggled this season. Has scored 11 goals and 31 appearances. Not bad, still better than 1 in 3. with just 7 goals in 22 La Liga appearances. But of course, João Pedro is in great form for Chelsea. It's referencing here. João Pedro looks great. He looks great yet again against Wolves, winning 2 penalties. We know Cole Palmer loves to play with João Pedro. Interestingly as well, he said, Cole, that they're really good friends off the pitch, which is nice to hear. You know, you didn't think Cole Palmer was naturally going to gravitate towards one of the Brazilians that speaks English, but not like loosely, fluently that you think perhaps João might do, considering how long he's been in England. But it's really nice they're good friends off the pitch. I really like that. And it obviously will help their chemistry on the pitch. Yeah. To give you my thoughts on it, he would be a Galactico level signing, Julian Alvarez. I think we would spend the money it would take to bring him. Maybe it'll be like a 90 million euros or something. I do think Chelsea have got the money to spend on a big player here and there. He's young enough. I think he's 25, which is, I think he's 25, he's 26. Ooh, he's 20. He turned 26 on the 31st of January. Less than a month ago, he turned 26. Ooh, old. Part of me thinks they still will sign that sort of. I think they know they want a sort of elite striker option. Look, let's just imagine he's 25 for a second. I think they would spend the money. And actually, I think he'll probably be on chunky wages. But if we're going to give Caicedo and Fernandes these pay rises and they have Champions League bonuses, it's not like he's playing for Real Madrid getting that crazy money, or Man City that pay silly 300 to 400k a week. I reckon they might find a way to structure a deal that would please Alvarez and, it comes back to the Premier League. It could happen. I can see it personally. I think it's highly unlikely, though, compared to, Valentine, Barco, and whoever else might come across, Rosinia's desk. But do let me know what you think, gang. Please leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, thanks for your support for my content. I'm very grateful for liking and subscribing on YouTube and following and 5-starring on Spotify. I do appreciate, you taking the time to do that. So thanks, gang. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. So see you there. Take care. Peace.